Hey everybody, welcome back. When you last joined us, we returned to Portugal, but we experienced some really heavy rain.
So the three jobs I've been concentrating on is the shipping container, the lean-to, and our original caravan. I don't think she's going to blow away. Let me show you what is now Paddy's studio and my office. In effect, we have an off-grid office and studio, all solar powered.
Our friend Praj came and visited and fitted a door in our container.
We have a door! Oh, that's amazing!
With all the rain that we'd had over the previous months, we wanted to utilise the water on the land. Our good friend and neighbour Pedro picked up a couple of IBC containers for us, and together with a friend of his, he arrived on the land with a pump, and they quickly got to work trying to set it all up for us. So they rolled out a hose from one part of the land to the other, over a small hill past the ruin, and down through the trees towards the well. The well was so full after all the rain we'd had. So once the pump was connected, they got to work on positioning the water tanks.
Oh, I've got the wrong shoes on.
Yeah?
Olho. That's what we need. Babe, we got water!
So a big thanks again to Pedro and his friend for helping us out and filling up the water tanks for us. Much appreciated. With all the heavy rain that we'd had, and now all the sunshine, the grass around the land had really shot up. Our good friends Zoe and Mark, on their last visit, brought over a lawnmower. Obviously, this was going to be really useful, and it was time to put it to use.
Central
Obviously our land is so big, we can't use this little lawnmower to cut all the grass on the land, but we can use it to cut the grass on areas like this. Unfortunately, as you can see here, not all the grass seeds took. It's something that we're going to have to readdress moving forward. We'll have to reseed it again at some point. A few days later, we got a letter through the post asking us to attend an appointment. So we hopped in the van and we made our way down south. This was also a good opportunity to hook up with Lana's brother, who was in the Algarve, and to see some old friends.
Morning. So we're here in the Algarve. Came down yesterday, caught up with family and friends last night, had a lovely meal, and this morning we've made our way to Tavira, which is east of east of Faro, closer to the Spanish side. And the reason we're here is Lana's got a appointment with AIMA, which is the immigration department, and this is the final step of her residency visa. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it's just a case of rubber stamping, taking biometrics, etc. She's got to sign to say that this is her identity, and it's a case then of issuing with the residency card. So I'll give you another update as soon as I find out exactly what the process was, and we'll catch up then. So see you soon.
So the little building that you can see here, the white one with the balcony, that's where the AIMA office is in the Algarve. The appointment didn't take too long at all. Lana was in and out in about 10 minutes. If you watched the last episode, you would have seen Praj and Mike helping us to cut the container and fit the new door. They tried to use the plasma cutter then, but there was an issue with the generator. It just wasn't working properly. But the guys, they took it away, gave the generator a good service, and now everything's working as it should.
Hey guys, beautiful day. and today it's all about the water. So we've got a couple of pumps down the bottom there, one being ours, the other is Pedro's. He's lent it to us, and we want to freshen up our water. We get a lot of water on the land. We've got 2 wells, we've got a water mine, loads of water, and it's a bit smelly. It's obviously stagnated, and it's not really usable to us. So we're going to pump out the water. Pedro, he's advised us we can get bluestones and elect, I guess, like a filter. It'll help filter the water. We'll aerate it as well, and but at the moment it's just a case of pumping out what we've got in there, and then we can work to we can fix it all up. Let me go show you what's going on.
So we know this isn't the correct time of year to be doing this. We should probably wait until it's dry and the water naturally decreases in the water table. But Pedro knew that we wanted water. He was doing everything in his power to make it possible. Although Pedro brings us water whenever we need it, we don't really want to bother him all the time, because it means he has to pick up the ICB with his tractor, take it down the hill, fill it up on his land, and then bring it back. We need water for personal use, you know, for laundry, washing the dishes, for showering. Obviously we can't use this water because it's essentially a pond. Of course, when we tried to use it initially, we ran it through filters, which cleaned the water, but it still stunk like a pond. Pedro, being an old farmer here for years, he knows this land inside and out, and he seemed confident that it was all possible. Running 2 pumps, it wasn't too long before we had the well empty.
There we have it, folks. Leaving enough water at the bottom there just for the pond life. I'll take a break now. Pleased not to have that pump running and ringing in my ears. But we'll come back after lunch and start the next phase. Good morning, folks. Back at the well today. The water has come up slightly. You can tell by the boulder down there, boulder rock. Only a little bit though. So, let's get the pump started and carry on again.
We repeated the process the following day, as Pedro wasn't ready. But it was also interesting to see how much the water level rose overnight. So Pedro arrived with a load of stones on the back of his truck, and he scraped them off onto the land to empty the truck so that he could go back and pick up the concrete rings. And shortly later, Pedro arrived with the rings. Everything was going so smooth until Pedro got stuck. The ground was so boggy here that the tractor just sank into the mud. Pedro did what he could to try and get out, but it was no use. He was just digging himself deeper and deeper into the mud. The area around this part of the land is so wet and boggy. The water moves down the hill, down the terraces, essentially like swales, I suppose. Perfect place for a well. After trying all the tricks that he knows, Pedro knew he was defeated here, and he was going to need assistance from one of his friends. So after a short while, one of Pedro's friends came to help him. He was definitely going to need another tractor to pull him out. And while they were doing that, he started digging channels to try and drain the water off the land, in order to help try and dry the area out, as it was so boggy. So after hooking up a few straps, they began trying to recover Pedro. But the worry here was that the other tractor was going to get stuck, and then we'd have two bogged tractors on the land. But fortunately it all ended well, and Pedro was out the mud again. Obviously this job was now going to have to wait until the land dried out, as it was just so wet. It wasn't possible to work like this. You can see here by the ruts, the tractor really did sink so deep. Well, after an early start, everything's just ground to a halt. Our pump stopped working, can't get it going. Take the spark plug out, check the air filter, all the usual stuff. Two-stroke problems really. And so Pedro has been recovered after being stuck. One of his friends came along with another tractor, as you saw. It got dragged out, but that means we can't get the tubes, those concrete tubes behind us there. We can't get those over here. We've still got water in the well, needs pumping out. So it's just another one of those days. We're doing our best to get the water off this area of land, dug channels, try and divert it down onto the next terrace below us. And that's all we can do. Is it's just a case of trying to dry out the land now and hopefully get that pump working again. So you can see just how wet the ground is here. It's like little streams running across the land. So I'm going to wrap up this video here. Thanks again for joining us. Remember to drop us a like and a hype. Subscribe if you haven't already. And remember, if you want to show the channel a little bit of extra love, you can always buy us a coffee. Take care guys, love you all, and see you next Saturday.